fellow degens. Welcome to the Pay the Man podcast. Spoiler alert. We provide the worst possible picks on the internet. Featuring your favorite hosts, Jay Grimm and Jay Wiz.
I can't get over how sick that is. But here we are, week 3 recap. What
another week in the books, Jay Grimm. Another week in the books.
Another week in the books. Just not a good week for the kid. Not a good week. You know, I say things, I like things, and I don't do it, and I regret it on the Monday morning when I wake up and I get that text message. It's just.
You went 9-4 this week, right?
Yeah, I went 9-4. I clean sweeped all my 1-star, 2-star, 3-star. That thing, everything went well, but there was just I couldn't get back from my early week fucking plays, so it kind of hurt. So that's why I'm really putting an emphasis on this Cowboys game tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you got to start off the week right. Got screwed last week with Denver against Seattle, or what was that? That was week 1. And it turned out to be a bad week. And then this week, for me at least, I had a good Monday and transpired the whole week. So got to start off good. And you know what I think our big thing is, man, our bankroll management sucks. Like last week, I had I pretty much just went too heavy on the Bengals game, and that one loss killed me. It doesn't matter if you win 3 other games because you're going more than you should on one certain game, and you went 9-4 and somehow had a bad week. So I think we need to keep that in mind and start just having better bankroll management and diversifying a little bit. But you know,
I'm so pissed because that Monday night last week was the doubleheader, right?
Yeah.
And I was just on the wrong side of everything. I was on the wrong side of props. I was on the wrong side of games. The Vikings were my 2-star, 3-star, whatever they were. And that team didn't look like they came to play football. But going into this week, I said I really like the Lions, I really like the Bears, and I like the Titans. So what I did was I locked in a teaser. I locked in a 6-point teaser. I got them all plus points. It was let's just say off the top of the head, Lions plus 12, Bears plus 3, Titans plus 8. And that smashed, right? It was 100 to win 160. That was pretty much my 3-star, 2-star, 1-star, however way you want to look at it, plays. But when it comes down to it, that 160 put me nowhere because I'm still down from the Monday. And the Thursday night game, I didn't do well on the Thursday night. So I had a prop. I tweeted it out. It was Big Mike over 26.5, 25.5, and he had 1 catch for 6 yards. I mean, the guy was playing second fiddle to this guy Schmidt. I didn't even know he was on a football team. So with that being said, it just set me up bad because now I'm breaking even on the teaser I really liked. And then I had a parlay. I heard, I spoke about this parlay all week. I'm happy to stop talking about it. But it was the 4-legger. I had 1 open spot, and for some reason, I was just all over the place. I didn't do things right yesterday, man.
That was your lifeline too. That
was to save me. That was to put me back to even on the week where I could have fun on Sunday, right? Yeah. But it didn't go my way because for some reason, I wanted to put my knockout pick as the last leg in that parlay, and for whatever reason, I don't know what it was or what made me do it, but my knockout pick was the Bengals, and the 4th leg was the Chiefs. And you know what happens in that game, right? We said it. It's a trap game. But we didn't want to really emphasize on that because we're like, why is it a trap game? It's a fucking Chiefs versus the Colts. Like this Colts team's nothing special. But you know. It's tough.
It was the right play. The Chiefs were the right play. Obviously, in hindsight, it wasn't, but like we said in the last episode, you could take the Chiefs, and if it doesn't go your way, well, you know what? It doesn't go your way. But the Chiefs were the play. They were 2-0. They beat two good teams. The Colts are coming off of a shutout loss against Jacksonville. It turns out might actually win that division, and a tie against Houston. And all of a sudden they scored. I think the Colts went up 7-0 like the first minute or two of the game. So
Yeah,
it sucks, you know. And then
just
it looked
had
like
more.
the Chiefs had a couple of chances to really put it away, and it didn't. Luckily, I had a two-teamer with the Ravens and the Chiefs for a light play, but then I was like, you know what? Let me not get cute, and I also took the Ravens straight up and was like, you know what? I don't want to go too heavy on the Ravens or Chiefs or start adding parlays because the Ravens were minus 140. You really didn't have to. So luckily, the Ravens kind of made up for that for me. And then come the 4 o'clock games, I took the Packers, which that game, I mean, that was my high yield bank account play of the week. We looked like we were going to run them out of the building in the beginning of the game. We had two phenomenal drives. I think we were up 14-0, 14-3. And then we were about to score again, and Aaron Jones fumbled. And after that, typical Packers offense, we get a lead, and then we start getting stagnant. Late in the game, I felt like, here we go. It's 14-6. You know, the Bucs are going to come down. Brady's going to lead them a drive. And if they score, of course, they're going to get a 2-point conversion. We start playing soft coverage, giving them easy completions. Next thing you know, it's 14-12, and it's a 2-point conversion for the game. And luckily, we got to delay a game. And the play before that, it looked like it was going to be a delay game, but they usually give you that 0 and another second.
Right.
But it's still, I thought it could have been a delay game. He got away with it. But then they called it on the 2-point conversion, backed him up, and luckily we held on because that would have been, I had the Packers money line, and that would have been a tough loss for us. So got that, had the Rams money line, that delivered, and then that just the brutal football game last night. I don't know if you even want to talk about that or call it a football game, whatever that.
I don't know what that I said. I felt like I was watching like a Pee Wee football game. Like that, bro. They combined for over 800 punting yards. What are we doing?
I mean, is Russell Wilson just a different player once he joined Denver? I mean, I know he didn't look great last year, but I thought that was just more of Seattle than anything.
You pull him out of Seattle, right? I thought he's in a better spot in Denver. I think
he definitely is.
I thought they had a great defense. I mean, if you remember, that was my divisional winner at plus 260.
Yeah.
I thought I was good value. I thought Russell Wilson coming in with guys like Judy and Sutton, and they got a great running back in Javonte Williams. I don't know what's going on over there. Just it's not clicking early. It's only week 3, so it's not a lot of like
time to panic yet.
It's not a panic button, but I'll tell you where it's time to panic. It's time to panic in the Run CMCs are 0-3. Dude.
It's a long season, though.
I got to blow that team up. But speaking about CMC, that was my only winning play. I thought that was a disrespectful line again. Back-to-back weeks, I think I said this. McCaffrey rushing yards was over 58.5. Bro, he had like 107 yards. I just think that line should be nowhere near the 50s. But talk about bad beat now. You send out a nice little parlay that you had going. A couple touchdown passes. And the 1 o'clock slate. Joe Burrow tosses a few. Derek Carr tosses a few, which I thought was the most leg that I was worried about. Josh Allen tossed a few. And then you get to the 4 o'clock game. And you see the only leg left is Matt Stafford, over 1.5. And you're like, all right, Kupp's going to get his. Maybe Allen Robinson wants to wake up and fucking catch a pass one time. But we know how that ended. I don't think Stafford threw one touchdown pass.
Cooper Kupp had a rushing touchdown.
Cooper Kupp took a jet sweep to the crib. Allen Robinson dropped an easy touchdown on a slant. And it just that would have been another thing. That was 50 to win 246. That was a nice. That would have been a nice hit. That was 4 quarterbacks over 1.5 passing touchdowns that just didn't hit, and it just nothing went my way. This whole week was red, man. Everything I'm seeing red, like I'm at a fucking stoplight.
I've been there, man.
It's like,
But
where I went wrong? I went too heavy last Monday because you had both games. I was $50 a pop on each first touchdown score just to have some fun. And I got a bankroll management, like you opened up the episode. Bankroll management needs to get better. It needs to get better, and it starts tonight.
yeah, I mean,
It's
it's a new week. Could we just talk about that game last night for a second? Because I thought Jimmy G. I called you last night and I was like, we were breaking down the game and I was like, I think Jimmy G is I don't want to say an upgrade from Trey Lance, but I just felt like what you're getting in Jimmy G, like we said, and you know what I will say, I think he's a better option right now than Trey Lance is, and I felt they had a huge coaching advantage. George Kittle was back, which that's his number one target, and in a pick'em of a game, I was like, I think that's the way to go, and man, was I right? He looked. He guys stepped out of the end zone for a safety that turns out lost in the game 11-10. I mean, he was like a deer in headlights last night. It was brutal.
I thought he was the better. I thought not the better. Like I said, I thought the team was better with him, and I even picked him up in fantasy to stack him with Ayuk. And that first drive looked promising. Either the first or second drive, something looked very good. They passing touchdown to Ayuk. He was moving the ball down the field. Debo's getting involved, and look, I didn't have any action on the money line, but I know you did. But to lose something like that, who steps out of the back of the end zone?
I mean, not even that, but like to me, it looked like who wanted to lose the game more. It was like, here you go, Denver. Oh yeah, we don't want it. Here you go, San Francisco. Like nobody wanted to score, and eventually they had to just beat themselves. So that was frustrating. But besides that, I mean, for me at least, a lot of the closer money lines went my way. Like the Rams were, I think, -170, the Ravens -140, the Packers are plus. I think they're like plus 105 or something. So everything else worked out for me. But besides that was a terrible loss. But
terrible loss. Terrible week.
Dude, what about that Bills Dolphins game?
That Bills Dolphins game had a lot of people rumbling in my household yesterday because so the knockout pool, you're still in as well. There was one guy that had Buffalo, I believe. No, yeah. Whatever way it was, there was just a lot of talk going on in the house about that game because people can get knocked out. But when I see that punt go off the guy's ass in the back of the end zone, what are we doing? That can't happen. I mean, I'm so surprised that Josh Allen didn't capitalize on that mistake.
Yeah, my dad's a Bills fan. He was going crazy for that game, and it looked like eventually it was a matter of time. They kept giving Josh Allen a chance. It was like, okay, he's gonna pull through. And I know he almost threw for like 500 yards, but he just missed a couple throws late that he normally would make. I think he threw a couple in the dirt. Gabriel Davis dropped a wide open touchdown. And they had a lot of defensive injuries. So the Bills will be just fine. But I think that was a big win for Miami. Miami's on 3-0. Jacksonville's 3-0. The Giants have a chance to be 3-0 tonight. So there's a few surprises so far in week 3. And I feel like now we're entering week 4 and 5, and we still don't know like how to price some of these teams. I mean, we have now we have Cincinnati versus Miami on Thursday.
Like that's a great game to watch if Cincinnati's playing up to the level that we know Cincinnati can play at.
What's the line for that game? Do you know? I think it's like Miami -5.
Did they come out?
Yeah.
Think they came out already?
I think so.
Cincinnati's -3.5. See,
Cincinnati's -3.5?
Yeah.
Oh, so I had that wrong. Yeah.
That's wild.
Cincinnati's favored at starting 1-2, and their only win being against the Jets.
Right.
Man.
That's going to be some game to chop up. That's going to be some game to chop. But I like that you mentioned the game tonight because I want to get back to it real quick. Let's get back to it. Because I know you said a play that you really liked today. I've been looking a little bit, and the line hasn't moved. It's still a pick 'em. The over-under is 39. It's Cooper Rush, Daniel Jones. It's a whiteout game in MetLife. I think I'm staying away from the money line completely.
Yeah, it's it's a coin flip. Either you're going to win or you're not. It's
Right.
-1. Uh, it's a tough game to pick.
And
But that
even on the preview, we said it was like a weird game to pick, but I think I'm going to focus on props tonight. I think
yeah,
I'm going to really lock into what I have to do. I'm really liking CeeDee Lamb over receiving yards. I think who's going to – I don't even know the Giants cornerbacks like that anymore. But is Cooper Rush going to get him the ball? I hope so. Did he look good versus Cincy early on? Yeah. Did he –
yeah. My favorite play for this game is Noah Brown over 3.5 receptions. He hit that the first 2 games. I think he had 6 catches last week for like 90-something yards. I think the week before that he had 5 catches. And Dalton Schultz probably isn't going to play in this game. They ruled Michael Gallup out. Once they said that, his line went up receiving yards, I think from 34.5 to like 43.5. And I don't know. I was watching the game last week. It seemed like Cooper Rush had a good rapport with Noah Brown. I don't know if that's because they were playing together a lot in training camp with the two, as the twos would play or not. But it seemed like they had a pretty good rapport. He was going to him often, and 3.5 just seems a low to me. So I think that could be a good little play there. I think that's probably my favorite play of the day.
Noah Brown over 3.5 catches?
Yeah. You know what I like about props like that is no matter how the game goes, 3.5, that could happen and, he catches too early. You know
Right.
what I mean? So.
Right. You can catch too early and you got almost 3/4 of football if you catch 2 passes. And I feel like that's my same thought process with CeeDee Lamb. I think his receptions is 5.5, but I think his yards are where I'm gonna tend to look tonight. It's 61.5. It's so frustrating, man. 'Cause I gotta get out to a good start.
Yeah, another interesting play to me is Tony Pollard over 2.5 catches. They made a point to get him the ball last week after he started off slow week 1. They leaned on Zeke more, and then they said like, listen, we got to get Pollard the ball. He's the better player. And I think that's a pretty low total as well. I think they'll try to get him open in space. I can see him getting at least 3. I think he had that the first 2 weeks. I was checked his logs against the Giants last year. It checks out. And then the other play I think I like is Saquon to score tonight. I think it's like a -120 for him to score. I think he gets in the end zone. I think he's got to get in the end zone if they want to win the game. He scored week 1. He didn't score last week. So I think he's due.
I said the same thing about Javonte Williams last night, that he has to get in the end zone for them to win a football game. But obviously that didn't happen. Giants side of the ball, if I had to pick a play for the Giants side of the ball, it would have to be Daniel Jones over rushing yards. It sounds crazy, but it sounds like it's going to have to happen. He's going to have to move the ball with his legs. Give me the over 26.5. Let him do what he has to do. And I remember doing this last year. Off the top of the head, I think I'm going to go with Daniel Jones, first touchdown scorer.
I remember that.
On a QB sneak or a little read option down there. I think that might be the play. Light, though. Like, very light to the point where it's probably minimum bet. Whatever the min is, I'm going to lock it in.
But it's going to be such good. Well, what is that? Plus 3,500, 2,800? Like,
when I had it last year, it was plus 15.
Yeah.
I put 50. Yeah.
It's probably
it's just
more than that now.
Daniel Jones is it's actually plus 1,000.
Really? That's
he's actually up there with guys like Gallup. Dalton Schultz is not playing.
He's not ruled out yet, but I know he's been questionable all week. They said he's probably going to miss at least 1 week, but then they were saying maybe I think it's going to be like a game time decision.
Interesting. How do you feel about Noah Brown getting in the end zone?
I saw the odds. It's definitely. With Gallup out, it's definitely worth a look at. What is it like? Right. Plus 200, plus 220, something like that.
It's
he scored last week, I think.
Plus 270 to get in the end zone.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah.
The way he's getting targeted right now, that's a good play. those odds.
Hey, it's going to come down to, can Cooper Rush get him the ball?
But like you said, I think Parsons is playing, I think, today.
Right.
He's been an animal. I think he's going to force Daniel Jones to move out of the pocket. So I think I can see him running around. But divisional matchup, close game. I think this is an important game for the division. The Giants either start out 3-0. This is their chance, without Dak. Then you got the Cowboys, who are either going to be 2-1 and get Dak back sooner. You're 1-2, and you have the Giants are 3-0. The Eagles look good, and you're kind of slipping away from the standings. So it's a big game tonight, and I probably lean Giants, like we said, but
I was just going to
in our
say,
last episode. But
did we see the Giants going 3-0?
I mean, look at Sam Darnold last year. You know what I mean?
Right.
They're 3-0 with 3 meatball matchups, and then next thing you know, they're 3-5. So
shout out to those Panthers though.
Yeah,
at home got their first win.
Both our plays of the week hit.
Yeah, your high yield bank account hit.
Yeah.
I had a couple plays that hit, but look, I can't show it. I can't show anything for it. But this week's
it's gonna change. I have a feeling.
This week's gonna be better. You know something? We're gonna go get our mind right. We're gonna play a little tennis. We're gonna do things right, and then we're gonna lock into this game tonight and really start this week off hot, because that's what we have to do. I gotta bounce back strong.
Yeah, short little episode here, short little recap, but let's get things like you said, and let's have better bankroll management today. Because you know what? Our picks are going to sometimes win. They're sometimes going to lose, but our process needs to stay the same.
Hey, it's a marathon. It's a marathon, not a sprint.
So thank you for watching. Make sure you hit that sub button. Catch you in the next one.
That's it.